Welcome to Aptitude for Placements, and my name is Ranjit. I have conducted this aptitude training program at various engineering colleges all over India, and every year thousands of students get placed by attending this aptitude training program. Here you will find all the questions that are commonly encountered in most of the aptitude tests. These are the questions that keep on repeating in many of these tests. So just familiarize yourself with all these questions and you will have a clear advantage when you attempt your actual placement test. Let's start. The compound interest on a certain sum for 2 years was rupees 410. The rate of interest was 5% per year. Per year is same as per annum. What was the compound interest for the first year? Now first year's compound interest will be R% of principal. That is what you get in the first year's compound interest. Now this value R% of principal will just represent it as X. Now the other information given is the rate of interest was 5% per year. So R is equal to 5% per year. Now the initial data given is the compound interest on a certain sum for 2 years was 410. So we'll just form the equation for that. Compound interest for 2 years was 410. Now first year's compound interest is R% of principal, that we have taken it as X. So first year's compound interest is X. Now what will be the second year's compound interest? This X you will get. X is R% of principal, that you will get. Now the extra that you will be getting is R percentage of first year's interest. First year's interest we have taken it as X. So extra that you will be getting is R percentage of first year's interest. R percent of this X also you will get. So this is a compound interest for 2 years and that is given as 410. Now we'll just substitute R is equal to 5. Rate of interest is 5% per year. We'll just substitute here. So X plus R is 5%. 5% of X is equal to 410. So X plus X, 2X. 2X plus this is 0.05X. So you will get it as 2.05X is equal to 410. So we'll just solve and calculate the value of X. So X you will get it as 410 by 2.05. Now just to make it easy, we'll multiply both numerator and denominator by 100. So this will be 410 into 100. 2.05 into 100 gives you 205. 205 divides 2 times. 410 it divides 2 times. So 2 into 100 gives you 200. And that is the value of X. X you will get it as rupees 200. Now X is R% of principal, that is first year's compound interest, and that we have assumed it to be X. So what was the compound interest for the first year? That is R% of principal, that is X, and X is equal to rupees 200. Hence option A, rupees 200. The compound interest on a certain sum for 2 years was rupees 510. The rate of interest was 4% per year. What was the compound interest for the first year? Now compound interest for the first year you will get it as R% of principal. Now this value R% of principal will just assume it to be X. Now here it is given the rate of interest was 4% per year. So we'll just write it down here. R is 4% per year. Now initial data is like this. The compound interest on a certain sum for 2 years was 510. Now first year's compound interest you will get it as R% of principal, that is given as X. Now we will calculate the compound interest for the second year. This X you will get. X is R% of principal, that you will get, and extra that you get in the second year is R percentage of first year's interest. R% of this X also you will be getting. And this is the compound interest for 2 years and that is given as 510. R is equal to 4%. So we'll substitute the value of R here. So X plus R is 4%. So 4% of X, that is equal to 510. So X plus X, that is 2X. 2x plus this is 0.04x. So you will get it as 2.04x is equal to 510. So x you will get it as 510 by 2.04. Now just to make the calculations easier, I'll multiply both numerator and denominator by 100. So x you will get it as 510 into 100 by 2.04 into 100 gives you 204. Now 51 divides 4 times. So this is 100 and the 0, so that will be 1000 by 4. That you will get it as rupees 250. That is the value of x. And x is equal to r% of principal, that is first year's compound interest, and that you will get it as rupees 250. So option C, rupees 250. What was the compound interest for the first year? That is rupees 250, option C. The compound interest on a certain sum for 2 years was rupees 420. The rate of interest was 10% per year. What was the compound interest for the first year? Now first year's compound interest is r% of principal. Now this value r% of principal, we'll just take it as x. Now the other information given us, the rate of interest was 10% per year. So r is equal to 10% per year. Now the initial data is the compound interest on a certain sum for 2 years was rupees 420. So we'll form the equation for that. First year's compound interest is r% of principal. We have represented it as x. Now let us calculate the second year's compound interest. This x you will get. X is r% of principal, that you will get. And extra that you will be getting in the second year is r% of first year's interest. R% of this x also you will be getting. So this is the compound interest for 2 years, and that is given as rupees 420. Now rate of interest is 10% per year. So we'll just substitute this value here. So x plus r is 10%. 10% of this x, and that total is 420. So we'll just solve and calculate the value of x. So x plus x is 2x plus this is 0.1x. So you'll get it as 2.1x is equal to 420. So we'll just calculate the value of x. X you will get it as 420 by 2.1. I'll multiply both sides by 10 into 10. Okay, so that will be 420 into 10 by 2.1 into 10 gives you 21. 21 divides 2 times. So 2 followed by 2 zeros. So that will be rupees 200. So value of x is rupees 200, and x is first year's compound interest. That is, x is equal to r% of principal. That is the first year's compound interest, and that you will get it as rupees 200. Hence option A, rupees 200. That is the compound interest for the first year. Option A, 200. The difference between the compound interest and simple interest on a certain sum of money for 2 years is rupees 3. Now first of all we'll calculate the simple interest for the first year. Now simple interest for the first year is, you'll get it as r% of principal. Now this value r% of principal, we'll just take it as x. So now we'll calculate the simple interest for 2 years. Now simple interest for the first year, you will get it as r% of principal. That is same as x. We are taking it as x. So first year simple interest is x. Second year also it will be the same, that is x. Now we'll calculate the compound interest for 2 years. Now first year's compound interest will be same as first year simple interest. First year simple interest is x. So compound interest also will be x, where x is actually r% of principal. Now let us calculate the compound interest for the second year. This x you will get, and extra that you will be getting is r% of first year's interest. R% of this x also you will be getting. So extra that you will be getting is r% of this x also you will be getting. Now if you look at the first statement, it says that the difference between the compound interest and simple interest on a certain sum of money for 2 years is rupees 3. So we'll just form the equation for that. That is compound interest for 2 years minus simple interest for 2 years, that difference is equal to rupees 3. The difference between compound interest and simple interest for 2 years is rupees 3. That difference is 3. So first we'll calculate the compound interest for 2 years. That is, this is first year's compound interest, this is second year's compound interest. So x plus r percent of x. So compound interest for 2 years is x plus r percentage of x. This is the compound interest for 2 years. Minus simple interest for 2 years, that is x plus x. And that difference is equal to 3. So we'll just solve it. Here x, this is minus x. So x and minus x will cancel out. Here x and minus x will cancel out. So remaining what we have is r percent of x is equal to 3. Now x is equal to r percent of principal. So we'll just substitute this value here. That is r percent of x. Now x is equal to r percent of p. Here we'll just substitute this value here. X is r percentage of p, and that is equal to 3. Now here it is given the rate of interest was 5% per year. So r is 5% per year. So r is equal to 5. We'll just substitute the value of r here. So 5 by 100 into 5 by 100 of p is equal to 3. 5 divides 20 times. 5 divides 20 times. So p you will get it as 20 into 20 into 3. 20 into 20 is 400. 400 into 3 gives you 1200. And p is the sum or the principal. And that is rupees 1200. Find the sum. That is rupees 1200. Option B. The difference between the compound interest and simple interest on a certain sum for 2 years is rupees 4. So first of all, we'll calculate the simple interest for the first year. Now simple interest that you get every year is r percent of principal. This r percent of principal, we'll just take it as x. Now we'll calculate the simple interest for 2 years. Now first year simple interest that you'll be getting is r percent of principal, and that we are representing it as x. So first year simple interest will be x. Second year also it will be the same value, that is x. You will get it as r percent of principal. Now we'll calculate the compound interest for 2 years. First year's compound interest will be same as first year simple interest. You will get it as x. What will be the compound interest for the second year? This x you will get. X is r percent of principal. Now extra that you will be getting is r percentage of first year's interest. First year's interest is x. So you will get r percent of this x also. So this is the compound interest for 2 years. Now if you look at the first statement, the difference between the compound interest and simple interest on a certain sum for 2 years is rupees 4. So compound interest for 2 years, I'll take it as CI, minus simple interest for 2 years, and that difference is equal to 4. So we'll just substitute the values here. Now compound interest for 2 years, that is x plus r percent of x. This is a compound interest for 2 years, that is x plus this x plus r percent of x. This is a compound interest for 2 years minus simple interest for 2 years, that is x plus x. And that difference is equal to 4. Now here minus x and x, that will cancel out. Here plus x and minus x, that will cancel out. So what we get is r percent of x is equal to 4. Now x is equal to r percent of principal. X we have represented it as r percent of principal. We'll just substitute this value here. So r percent of x, x is r percent of p. That is equal to 4. Now here it is given the rate of interest was 8% per year. So r is 8. So we'll just substitute that value here. So 8 by 100 into r is 8. So 8 by 100 into p is equal to 4. So p you will get it as 4 into 100 into 100 by 8 into 8. That is 8 into 8. Here 4 divides 2 times. 8 I'll just write it as 2 into 2 into 2. 2 into 2 is 4. 4 divides 25 times. 2 into 2 is 4. 4 divides 25 times. So p you will get it as 25 into 25. that is 625. That is P. P is the principal or the sum. So find the sum, that is equal to 625, option A. Let me briefly explain how to prepare for your aptitude test. First of all, you need to familiarize yourself with all the questions that have been worked out here. These are the questions that keep on repeating in many of the aptitude tests. After that, you need to attempt practice tests. According to me, you need to attempt at least 10 practice tests before your actual placement test. Here, I will be giving you 10 practice tests, and these practice tests will be ideal for you to improve your test scores. The 10 practice tests are available at a cost of only rupees 200. So all that you need to do is make a payment of rupees 200 either through Google Pay or through PhonePe or through Paytm, and you will receive the 10 practice tests. The details of the payment comes next.